Well, good morning, everybody, evening, afternoon, wherever you might be, and welcome back to the latest episode of Live Coding Second Breakfast. I'm your host, Kristy, developer advocate here at ServiceNow, and since this is technically called Live Coding Second Breakfast, I'll talk about what I had for my first breakfast and what coffee I'm drinking today. So my first breakfast today was a granola bar because, as karma would have it, our refrigerator is a bit on the fritz, so all the good stuff like yogurt and all that is a bit off limits. I don't want to eat any of that. My coffee happens to be a home roasted Haitian blue coffee, light roasted, quite good. Highly recommend getting to roasting your own coffee if you're interested in that. Hit me up if you want more details. Happy to share that. So what are we doing? What are we doing this week? And what did we do last week? So last week we shifted gears a little bit because initially when we started these streams, we were going through C3 Mobile. I was with David Murch, who was one of our product managers for mobile, and we were doing some enhancements to the C3 game. If you don't know about the C3 game, Travis Tolson has it well documented on the community site, so highly recommend going and reading about it. Super fun experience. And then last week, I shifted gears to doing some make farm work. So we had an incredible list of really cool things that we could add to the make farm from our India team after CreatorCon India that we were working on. But last week, Mr. Jason McKee hit me up and said, hey, we need to find some way to work agentic AI into the hack zone. So I thought, what better demo than the garden demo to add some agentic AI to? So that's what we're going to work on today. Let's see. Hey, Earl. Hey, Ben. Oh, what's my LinkedIn? So I am LinkedIn, just Kristy Merriam, or I think my suffix or whatever is K Merriam, I think. I'm out there though, Kristy Merriam. I think I'm might be one of the only ones. Can't miss it. But good morning, good afternoon, everybody. So we are going to work on, again, an agentic workflow. So let's show you what I've got so far. So I've already gone through and made some descriptions without watching anything beforehand. Yes, you can absolutely watch the live coding session without watching anything beforehand. That was one of the questions here from one of our viewers. There is no prerequisites to, thank you, Earl, for linking my status there, or my profile. There's no prerequisites to live coding other than just come in and having a good time, bringing your coffee, asking questions, talking to people. No prerequisites there. All right, so agentic AI. So if you are in a previous version of AI agents in the platform, you probably see something called use cases. In the newest versions, we've shifted to agentic workflows instead. And so we'll see what that looks like in a minute. But each of these workflows require a description that kind of defines what that workflow is aiming to accomplish, start to finish. And there's also steps that are documented for that particular workflow. What steps should it actually follow when we are executing this particular workflow? And then, of course, every workflow or agentic workflow or use case has AI agents. You can think of these as your subject matter experts that are part of the overall workflow that are accomplishing certain tasks in our agentic workflow. So if I relate this to what we would call deterministic workflows being what we're all used to building, like in Flow Designer, Workflow Editor, those sorts of things. The agentic workflow is the overall flow. It could be a trigger, it could be conversational, it can be any number of things that would trigger this agentic flow. So very similar to that. The AI agents, I would equate to spokes or actions inside of those spokes. So you can kind of think of it that way. So you can group a bunch of AI agents together that support the overall use case for agentic workflow. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Just a quick also rundown of the garden project. So if you've been to a CreatorCon event, you have likely seen the IoT garden, community garden, garden now. It's had a few different names, but essentially what we're doing here is we have plants. In my case, I have a massive amount of houseplants, and each of those plants have a sensor in them. So I pulled up a AliExpress link. So a sensor very much like this that has a soil moisture meter here. It's got air temperature and humidity. It's got a light REST API, and we are displaying that data on a portal. This is the new portal that we've been working on. So it doesn't quite look like probably what you've seen at CreatorCon in the past, but we display all of those different parameters here and show them, and based on that data, we can take action. Oh, sorry, my audio go out. Sorry about that. Internet of Plants. I like that. I also like your idea from last week or last time was the Internet of Yarn. I think you were on Earl's stream talking about making a yarn management app. I love that idea. Might have to undertake that myself. Okay, so we've talked about what the garden project is. Let's go and take a look at the AI Agents Studio. So this is AI Agents Studio, and here you'll see agentic workflows. And again, if you're in a Xanadu instance or in a previous version of AI Agents, you will see something called use cases. Basically the same thing. If you scroll down, you'll see all of them here as well. And it will give you a description of what each of those particular AI agents is setting out to do. Sorry, agentic workflows is setting out to do. And then you'll have a list of all your AI agents that are supporting those agentic workflows that we just saw. So as I was building this out myself, I actually used one of these agentic workflows. I think it was this one to kind of model my description against and my list of steps. There we go. Oof, okay. So you'll see your workflow description is used for the LLM, and your instructions are used for the LLM to instruct the LLM when to use them, what steps it needs to execute as well. So I thought what we would do is take kind of what I've gotten today and use a little AI to enhance that a bit following some of the rules. So if you look at list of steps, there's a series of rules here it wants you to follow and to specify. And funny story, if you go and look at some of these in the platform, our out of the box ones don't exactly follow all these steps and all these rules. So if you see that, know that some of these maybe were written before these rules became a thing and what they've put here. So, but the first thing I'm going to do, I don't want these AI agents to live in the same application scope, so I don't want there to be a dependency between the two. So I'm actually going to create a new scope for my AI agents. So I'm going to go to Studio. This time today, I will open up ServiceNow Studio, and we will create a new app. So, and let's see, what are we going to name our app? We're going to name it Smart Garden Agentic Workflow. Sounds like a good one to me. And we're doing this just to create our scope. I'm just going to leave these as default. And then create file. I don't necessarily want to create a file. Let's just look at our details. I don't think AI Agent Studio is embedded here yet. Am I right in thinking that? Oh, what is this? Let's see. Nope. What about AI agent? Can we do that yet? Oh, we can. All right. All right. What about agentic? What about use case? Look at that. See, it's still named use case in ServiceNow Studio. So it might be a little confusing if you start trying to use this. Let's see what the experience looks like here for creating a use case in ServiceNow Studio. What we mean by agentic. So this particular workflow is using AI to accomplish the task. So rather than when you talk about building a workflow that's got specific steps, where you execute all of those steps with if, then, else blocks and those sorts of things, or do untils, we're using AI instead to execute these steps based on very dynamic inputs or less kind of structured data, if that helps, hopefully. Or if anyone in the chat has a better explanation than that, feel free to add on if you'd like. So we're going to call this our Smart Garden Workflow. I don't know what team is here. Team. We're going to leave that blank since it's not needed. But I think I'm still going to use AI Agent Studio to do this. I think it's going to have a better UI from what we want to do here. So let's go back. Oh, okay. I've clicked the don't show that on that button a few times. Yeah, there's our use case that we just created, or agentic that we just created. So we do have help. So you can use AI in the platform to generate your description steps just based on the name. I don't want to do that. I want to use something else to do that. So I'm going to come here, and actually I'll just take my description as is. So I pre-did all this because I didn't want you to guys have to sit here and watch me like type out a whole description for this sort of thing. Oh, good point, Ben. There are some courses on SNU. And the other thing that I'll share with you as well that I pulled up is we have all of our labs from Knowledge 25 out on Gitbook. So even if you don't have an instance that you can go and execute these against, you absolutely can come out here and at least read about it and learn about it. There's some best practice information in some of these labs. And these are step-by-steps, like how to make sure your agents, you can build agents in your instance, and kind of what a use case is and how to best write a use case. So I'd highly recommend going and exploring some of these labs. And I think these lab guides are actually in use by SNU as well in those. And so you'll see also some of these labs coming out in SNU if they're not there already. I'm not sure what the status of them are. Thank you, Ben, for adding that context. Okay, what are we doing? Right. We were going to take our description. I'm just going to go ahead and put that here into my workflow description. And my list of steps, I mean, it's not overly comprehensive, but let's see if we can provide ChatGPT. I've already done some of this in ChatGPT, as you can see, but we'll see if we can say, based on these rules, please enhance the following set of steps for a smart garden workflow. So rules, and then here is our steps, current list of steps. Let's see what AI will give us if we do that. I've already copied those, haven't I? Yep. So current list of steps is here. I don't want a whole block. Let's do it this way. Each of these uses of AI help count as one of your credits against right. I can't answer that question, Ben. I don't know. That's something I would definitely direct to account team. Sorry. In a previous life, I might have been able to answer that, but it's been a while, so I can't answer that for you for certain. Okay, and so our rules. There's a question of where do I find this? What specifically are you asking about? Find what? Do this. Maybe we need to, smart garden workflow built. We'll give it some more context using ServiceNow AI agents. Let's try that and see what we get back. Okay. Previous classification from the plant database. So I think in my second step, let's see, do I still have that in the second step? Yeah, in the second step, I do in the current model for the garden app, there is a table of plant type definitions. And those plant type, I'll say plant type definitions, different plant types. So the scientific name along with all of the care instructions. But my problem is I can never find a good source of that information, which is why I thought this would probably be a good use case for agentic AI that can go out and scrape some of that information and return it in a format that we can use in the app. So I think that's kind of what it's talking about from the plant database. Achieve the ideal care threshold for each plant, compare Yeah, when environmental conditions deviate, generate a manual task when appropriate. I mean, I think that looks pretty good. I'm not going to read all of it, but let's try it. What's the worst that can happen, right? So let's take those steps and put those in. Why did I not get the numbers? Why would you not copy the numbers? Oh, that's annoying. Okay. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, let's save and continue. We're not going to add a trigger just yet because I don't know what the trigger in this case is going to be. It might be conversational. We might trigger it based on the update of a plant. Not sure. So I don't necessarily want to trigger it for every data point that we get, but let's see. Yep, we'll show it in Now Assist panel in my roles. Right now, I'm going to just make it admin role because I don't want to turn it on for everybody. And I can hit save and test, but I don't know that's going to do a whole lot because there's not any agents that are supporting this particular workflow. Can you use ChatGPT? I can use a 5.0 model, most definitely. It could keep giving you recipes for smoothies. Yeah, it could. But I'm not Earl, so it's not giving me a recipe for smoothies just yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see. I can use GPT-5 model. Let's see what we get with that. Good call. Why? There we go. 5 auto. Let's think longer for better answers. I would rather do that. I should just copy and do it again. Or can I just refresh it? Can I do edit and then send again? Let's see what's up. There we go. We'll see what we get with 5. Good recommendation. Thank you. I had changed it before because I was in the middle of working on the design of the new garden UI, and it was right in the middle of when everything switched from 4 over to 5. And it almost like it just forgot everything that we were working on. And I did not know what was going on until I refreshed ChatGPT. And it was like, oh, now you're using 5. Could have given me some warning. That would have been nice. We might be waiting for a minute. Well, while it's doing that, let's flip over here because I'm not going to test this just yet. We can go back to create and manage, and we can tackle our first AI agent. And I think this is the one I have most planned out, is the plant care specialist. Why? There we go. So this would be the agent that is going to evaluate all the sensor data and the actual plant type and determine if there are any variances or anything that we need to do about those particular parameters. So we'll start with our plant specialist. So let's add agent, and we'll say plant care specialist. And again, these are what I would think of the agents. Nope, specialize. So I can't type and talk at the same time. These are your subject matter experts. So you want to give each of your agents a very specific role in your overall workflow. You don't want them to be doing too much. You want them to be able to focus on something. So that's why whenever you're describing, you're giving them their role, tell them what they're good at and what they shouldn't focus on, those sorts of things. I don't know if I'll go that far today and say, don't do these things, but definitely do these. Is this a new module in ServiceNow? Yes, this is somewhat of a new module in ServiceNow. So it was released in, God, I should know this, probably Yokohama, I think, is when we first started rolling out AI agents. You might have been able to do it in Xanadu since we do store releases and things now. But it is fairly new, pretty hot topic. So if you're at Knowledge or go to any of our events, you'll probably hear about AI agents a bit more. Let's see. I assume that your agent would be scheduled to check the source periodically, or can it monitor the data? Yeah, we can set it up to do various, for various triggers. I'm actually going to put myself in picture so you guys can see more of the screen. You can set it up with various triggers. It can be more conversational. I haven't quite decided how I want to trigger it yet and how I want it to work yet, because the data that's coming into the plants from the sensors is actually getting dumped into a metric-based field. If you're familiar with metric-based, it's a time series field. So it can, if you're doing it very quickly, you're putting it in every few seconds, where our case, it's every 1 minute or 5 minutes. Probably not necessary for a garden because things don't change that fast in a garden. But we could potentially do it based on when those metrics are updated. Just haven't decided where I'm going to do that yet, or when I'm going to do that. And there's also the idea of metric-based. Metric-based also has trigger conditions. So potentially we could trigger it based on certain conditions coming from metric-based as well. So have not gotten that far yet on how I want to trigger it. Okay, let's see if we gotten an answer yet. Oh my goodness, yes, we have. Do we have extra steps? We do. Let's see. Here's enhanced user-centric version. We're going to ingest sensor data. It's not exactly true, but workflow detects data gaps or anomalies, flags out of range. I don't know that those are actually like steps. Those are just saying this is what the workflow does. It's not giving you like a step-by-step. So I don't know if I like this answer as much as what we got from the previous model. This is just saying this is what the workflow does. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it from the 4.0 model instead. Okay, so let's come back over and create our agent. Let's just go with what we've got here. So here's the description of my agent. Based on the plant type, this agent collects relevant data for the plant, collecting the most recent soil moisture readings, water due date or watering date, and species-specific watering preferences. This agent prepares the full data context required for evaluating watering needs. Okay. Let's put that into our agent. That was our description, not our role. I could probably do a little better on that one. Well, we might enhance that in a minute. So there's our role where I've called out the expertise. You're a plant care expert specializing in houseplants. I'm limiting my scope to houseplants right now because that's what I have monitoring right now, or at least is what Jason has monitoring right now. But we could expand this to outdoor plants and those sorts of things as well in the future. But let's do expertise is our role. Oh, I really wish it would keep those lines of steps because that's a mess. Okay. Hey, Travis. Yes, we are AI agenting. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Hey, other Tolson. Welcome. Okay. And then list of steps. So there's our role. So we're telling it what it's responsible for. You know, that AI model, our ChatGPT model, might be better at defining the role. I'm getting all bent out of shape going back and forth between Miro and ServiceNow and scrolling. I wonder if it would be better at defining what that would be. Let's try that. Let's see if we can get it a better role. Okay, now let's define a role for a plant care specialist agent that will support our smart garden agentic workflow. That's a mouthful. Here is what I have so far. Oh no, those are the rules. Here are the rules, we'll say. Here are the rules to follow when defining the role. Oh no, that's not what I want to do. Stop. No thanks. And here is what have so far. Let's copy. Look at that, it kept my lines. Good. Okay. Is that right? Yep. Let's see what we get this time. Maybe we have a better outcome this time. I found AI to very much so be my friend in a lot of different realms. Like you can see that I've used it quite extensively to help me with UI design for the new garden, community garden project. I use it for lots and lots of things. It's super handy. It certainly is thinking. Okay. I mean, do I need, what is that? Universal. Okay. Doesn't necessarily have like steps. Let's see. Plant care specialist agent specializes in specific species specific house plant assessment. This agent analyzes current situations, blah, blah. It's kind of the same, but without the steps. Let's try it. I still like giving it the expertise because I feel like I have to. Let's just, there we go. All right. So there's our role. And then what were my list of steps here? Oh, this is where I get really specific. I'm sorry, I keep zooming in and out. Sorry. Let's see. So here I have my list of steps. I do have actions already created. So there are some actions for getting plant detail action tools. So there are some tools there that we can use. So you'll see that's what those are. I think this is good. And I'm asking it to return things in a specific format. We're just going to use this as is because I think this will be okay. List of steps. Ah, dang it. Step 2. And you'll see these, if you look at examples in the platform, some of these are written what appear to be Markdown. I don't think that's required for it to be Markdown. I've gotten them to work without using Markdown before. But if you see a bunch of like hashtags and different weird characters here and there, that's what it is. It's Markdown, if you're not familiar with Markdown. So shade tolerance. And these are all fields. Shade tolerance are all, that's a field on the plant type or plant database. Or plant reference database, I think is what I called it. So that's why I'm asking for these very specific options, because these are all choices in these different fields. Low threshold as a percentage. Yes. Required lux. These are thresholds right now that we have. I don't know that we're going to need these once we get Agentic AI working, if we're going to need those thresholds, or if we can just rely on kind of what AI has surmised and what it's telling us. So let's see. I'm probably going to take that out so it's not confusing. Humidity range, shade tolerance. Update, return plant record. So these are things I was testing before I was updating the plant type record. Again, don't know if I'm going to need that record of those fields anymore, but we'll see. Oh, and this is cool. You can actually store these in long-term memory. So I think at some point I've referenced that here as well. So if it's not, if you already looked up the care information for the plant type, use the in-memory information. So you can point your agent to use something that's already in memory instead of having to go out and look it up again, which I thought was pretty handy. If it works or not, I don't know, but we'll try it. Plant care information. All right. So we're going to save, and here's where we add the fun stuff. So all the different tools in order to support this particular agent. So as I mentioned, I've added some tools before, but there's others that you can add. There's all kinds of them that you can actually add here. I think probably the most common has been flow action. So just exactly what it says, flow action or subflow to go execute and get those inputs back into the agent itself. So I already have some. I have flow action plants. I think they were all in the garden now. Spoke. I guess you can't search by spoke. Okay. Get plant details. This is my get plant details from the USDA. So my original source for all the plant information was from the USDA. And to say that it was unreliable is a bit of an understatement. It wasn't great. I found APIs that have the data, but again, don't know if I'm going to need it with Agentic. So let's go ahead and do get plant type or get plant details, which are used only by this agent. Define the tool settings. We'll call this plant details action because I think that's what I referred to it in there. Use this tool when, not rule, it's Monday, when you need to look up the details of a plant along with its plant type. So there's two inputs. One is the owner, R. Owner, this is the user. Do the SDA to get ServiceNow. I found out today Zoom uses ServiceNow. Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know Zoom was a ServiceNow customer. I mean, USDA might already be a ServiceNow customer. I don't know. I cannot confirm nor deny that information. This is a user that is currently logged in and interacting with the agents. That might change later, but we'll see. Plant name. Sorry if there's background noise. There's a lot going on at my house today. Plant name. This is the name of the plants. We're going to go with this being a chat conversation first, provided by the user. What's our guidance say for tool description? Add a description to help AI agent understand the best situations to use this tool. Okay, cool. Supervised and autonomous, that's pretty self-explanatory. Supervised, if this is conversational, it's going to ask you for permission to run. Autonomous, it's just going to run. Display output, it will display all the output that it gets from this particular action if you want it to. Probably in this case, it might be just a success or failure since it's an action. And then you can decide if you want to transform that output or not. Do you want it to be very concise, paraphrase it, verbose, whatever the case may be? We're just going to leave it blank. I'm a big fan of these little suggestions here for processing, getting plant details. Not super creative, but it's kind of nice to be able to just tell me what you think it should say. And that's what's going to display back to the user in the panel whenever they're having the conversation with the agent. So let's add that and save. Those are our triggers. We'll worry about that later. I think you should test it. Let's see what happens when we test it. What are our plants? Garden. My plants. So all these plants have plant types. Let's choose one of those. Parsley. Let's look at the parsley plant. I don't know if you'll recognize this or not. Taking care of my plant named parsley. Let's see what happens. It's always the fun part. So there's orchestrator. And this is kind of neat too. It kind of tells you as it's making decisions what it's going to do. So it's automatically engaged to the plant care specialist. I'm ready to retrieve the details. Oh crap, I should have put that in autonomous. Yes. So that's what happens when you make it supervised. Plant record for parsley owned by Kristy Merriam. Yep, that's right. there's our output. So there's all of our JSON. So output in JSON, not just success. There's our plant sys ID, plant type. Okay, it's getting all of that information. Please provide the latest sensor readings. So we didn't tell it to look up the sensor readings, or we didn't return the sensor readings. Maybe we need to do that. Okay, let's go to Workflow Studio and look at that action and see if we can get it to return those sensor readings. Oh, that's the... let's see. We look it up, our outputs. Right. We got to figure out how to return those metric-based fields. So create an output, or maybe that's going to have to be a separate action altogether. Actually, before we do that, let's delete that. Hello. Oh, we have a Twitch viewer. Hi. Welcome. I need my data panel. What can I access in this plant record? Can I access... I've tried this before, and I think there has to be a specific script to pull data from the metric-based fields, but we might have to make that its own. Oh, I can make it a script step. And I don't see, there's plant type. No. I don't think air temp, do I have that there? No, I don't. Okay. We're going to have to create a script step to get those outputs, I think. So let's do that. Just script is okay. All right, get... I wasn't very good about naming my steps, am I? Get metric base values. Let's rename this one while we're at it. Look at plant record. Brazil, welcome from Brazil. Amazing. You might know my buddy Willens. He and I used to be teammates on the Creator Workflows team. He's kind of a big deal in the ServiceNow community in Brazil. I know he moved on. He's at I think at a partner now, but oh, funny. You got the SNC external role, huh? That's fun. It's pretty great when you start to see ServiceNow out in the wild. There's a silly game I play on my phone that I logged a support case for. And I'm like, wait a minute, I recognize this UI. And it was totally ServiceNow. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool to see it. I'm going to go reference. Where am I doing this? I'm doing this somewhere else where I'm getting, oh, on my portal. We're going to context switch here for a second, and we're going to look up, boy, oh boy, widgets. And we're going to look up one of our widgets where we are doing this. Although probably best to look up my script include, but let's see. Copy and paste. I love a good copy paste. I do work in ServiceNow, mister. Yes. You are watching a live stream from our ServiceNow developer program. I'm a developer advocate here at ServiceNow. Okay, so this is getting our image. Sensor data. This is where we're getting our sensor data. That is poorly formatted, Kristy. Last update. Value. Okay, I think we can work with this. I think we should copy this because I'm lazy, and we are going to copy it and put it into our script step. I have to make sure my script include is accessible via, uh-oh, I didn't get all of that, did I? Whoops. Nope, sure didn't. There we go. I really wish I could format this a little better. ServiceNow in Brodesco Company. Work with ServiceNow since 2019. Amazing. I agree, Ben. Copy paste does reduce errors, hopefully. With any luck, as long as you copy all of it and what you want to do with all of it. So let's see. What am I gonna do? I wonder. Well, let's just get like soil moisture first. Let's just do that. And so data.sensor is not right. So let's just do soil moisture first. And then let's do outputs. Soil. So, oh no. Moisture. That it's gonna be a float, but I don't. Let's see if it'll return as a string. So outputs dot soil. Mister, what was your first ServiceNow release that you worked on? Or that you remember working on? I didn't even ask for that. Why are you giving that to me automatically? I don't know how I feel about that. That's the first time I've seen that. All right, so now we add our last. Create output. Moisture. String. Save. And let's assign, go away, assign utils. I mean that in the nicest way possible. And let's save it. And let's test it. These are all strings because right now I'm just sending parsley and Kristy Merriam. Might change later, but let's run the test and see if we get what we need. GR sensor. Right. I forgot to change that because we ripped that from. See, this is where you have to remember. This is what errors. When you copy and paste, you have to go back and change your references. Whoops. Oh, GR sensor is our plant. So that would be, we'll just do here. Nope, here. We'll do inputs. Or we could just say less metric update. Let's do that. Less metric update. So I don't have to send a whole glide record, and we can dot walk to that field, I think. Last metric update. There we go. Let's do it that way. That seems better. Right, so yes, soil moisture. Cool. All right. Let's try that again, where we do parsley is our plant, and I am the owner of said plant. What? I didn't, did I still have it somewhere? Where the heck do I have it? Did I miss it? Oh, too much on my screen. Oh, good grief. That's the object, so I am gonna have to send that, but is it expecting, it's expecting a GR, isn't it? Dang it, okay. Plant record. Sensor. Nope. GR. Okay, that looks better, right? My first release, Kingston. All right, nice. A couple people started in Kingston with London, and then soon after upgraded to Madrid. Nice. I think the first one I started on, I was a customer before I came to ServiceNow in 2017. And I think my first release was Eureka. And then we skipped Fuji and upgraded directly to Geneva. So, been around for a minute. Well, we got some pre-Aspen folks. I think The other Tolson is pre-Aspen, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my gosh, nothing found, guard now. Pearls, oh my gosh, typos. Yeah, no worries, mister. It's okay, you're doing great. Okay, got it that time, last fed, less watered. Soil moisture is an object, ruh-roh. So what am I doing for value? Value.value. All right, let's do that then. So let's change that. Let's get rid of all these screens that are just taking up real estate. Output equals value.value. Dot toString. Let's try that. Parsley. Cross our fingers, hope that gets it. No, value has no properties. Did it parsley? Well, that's interesting. Why not? They found it last time. Value.value. Let's look at parsley and see if parsley has data, because some of these, some of the plants, oh, not favorites, history. Some of the plants may not have data in them, so I'll have to handle that. Yeah, okay. Which one does have data? Let's stick with that. I think lettuce is probably the most recent. Yes. And we have a soil moisture reading there. So let's stick with lettuce. That sounds fun. And then we'll do lettuce. Oh, those summits are also always fun. I'm always amazed at just the number of people that show up for those events in Brazil. You guys have some of the largest snugs I've ever seen, or user groups I've ever seen. Like hundreds of people joining. It's massive. It's going to be super fun. I'm kind of jealous. I would love to go to the summit in Brazil. Yay, we got soil moisture. Good, so that worked. Let's add some fields for, or some values for last fed and last watered. And we'll test our agent again. We got a few more minutes left. We should be able to get somewhere. And why not? Let's do last repot as well. Okay. So there we go. We got data there. All right. So let's try again. Let's try one more time. Oh, parsley. Dang it. I wanted to do lettuce because there's no values for that. Hi, Gabby. I didn't see what you post. I don't know. It's blank for me on this side. I'm not on the YouTube screen. Let's see. Maybe I should switch to the YouTube side. No, I still don't see anything. What's up with that? It's weird. Oh, I'm ready to retrieve. Sorry, spaced out there for a second. Yes, please. Be nice to the AI. Gabby, you're one of my testers for the garden project. I don't know if you were on earlier, but I showed a little sneak peek of what it's going to look like in its new iteration. I'll have to share that with you later. It's internal. I'll send you the Miro. That way you can see it. So there we go. And see, let's see if it'll read our sensor data, if it'll read the soil moisture data. Oh, please provide the latest sensor readings for the plant name parsley. Right. No, it's not. So we're going to go back and ask it to take care of our lettuce plant. Let's try that one since we know it has data. No worries, Mahathi. Welcome. Glad you can make it. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I'm always so paranoid about butchering people's names. It gives me anxiety. No, it's not reading that either. So I wonder if we need to go back. Oh, I haven't published it. Publish your actions, people. Publish your actions. Dang it. Gets me every time. Let's publish that and see if we can get a better result. Has ever happened to you guys where you're like testing and you beat your head against the wall when it doesn't work and you realize you didn't activate the flow or you didn't publish your changes, whatever the case may be? Did you say there were some docs about the setup of the garden? Yes, there is a Git book that I can actually post in the video once it is on YouTube. God, I gotta change that to be autonomous. It does walk you through setting up the sensor and getting the sensor. I think I can share the links to where to get the sensors from. But we have big plans for the garden to be able to, no, it's still not getting those. Dang it. We're going to run out of time. But I can talk briefly about the garden and then we can kind of wrap it up for today. And I will leave this for our next stream. Because I want to work on this a lot, I might start doing this weekly just because this is fun. I love doing this stuff. So look out for maybe turning weekly. No promises yet though. But I want to make sure we're doing this together because I think you guys could enjoy doing this stuff as well. But I will share the links to the garden project, to the instructions on setting up sensors, where to get the sensors, all of that in the descriptions. But once we turn this over to the community, which is kind of our plan, what we want to do, there'll be some more instruction and more, what am I looking for here? You'll see some more activations out on the community site, more blog posts and things about it when we're ready to do that. But happy to share the information with you now so that you can kind of get a head start on it and check it out. So, okay. So I think since we only have about 7 minutes left, I don't know, we maybe can try one quick edit and see if we can get it to look at soil moisture so we can see it end to end. I want it to give me a recommendation is what I want it to do. First thing I'm going to do though, is I'm going to make that, that tool autonomous. So let's change that. So I don't have to give it instructions or the okay to do that. I don't necessarily want to display the output because that's all JSON. So people don't care about JSON. Oh, maybe, outputs. Yeah. So the outputs currently, let's see if we can do this. Currently include the plants SysID, right? And last watering and feeding. Let's do this. Last watering, last feeding, and the soil moisture sensor reading the current. And maybe we need to narrow the scope to just soil moisture for now. Let's save that. Let's see. Last watering. Oh, that should work because we only called out soil moisture here and last watering date. Okay. Let's try it one more time before we wrap everything up today. Save and continue, save and continue, save and test, please. I need help caring for my plant named lettuce. Very creative name. All right. Start test. Let's see what happens. Last try for today. My dog decides to bark now. Great. Ugh, no. Okay. we'll pick this up next time and figure out how we get it to. There's probably something in the prompts that we need to change up and fiddle with to get it to pick up those sensor readings that we're returning from the GitPlant details. So, or we might have to create a new tool for that and add a new tool to the agent. So for our next stream, that's what we will pick up on. That's what we will pick up working on. But until then, we do have other streams. So Earl does live coding 11sies, which I think is happening this Wednesday. Next Wednesday is live coding afternoon tea with Travis Tolson, aka the other Tolson, if you've heard me reference him by that. Also, we are starting our content calendar for our Creator Toolbox for Zurich. So we just did our Tech Now for Zurich at the end of July. So keep a lookout for that on our YouTube channel. There'll be lots of great videos doing a little bit of a deeper dive into some of those features that you saw on Zurich. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye.